Well, hello there, I'm Kim Jimenez, social media strategist and the creator of Zilch to Social, and in this very special episode, number 2 of Countdown to Zilch, our series to planning your best social media year yet, we're going to be learning all about finding your ideal client on social media. And I'm going to be giving you strategies for 4 of the main social networks. And we're probably going to throw in one more just as a bonus strategy. But when it comes to finding your ideal client on social media, there's different strategies for different social networks, right? And the first one is, of course, to make sure that you know who your ideal client is in the first place. A great way to figure this out is, of course, to send out a survey and do a little bit more research. If you already have clients that you're servicing, then you probably already know who your ideal client is. Let me give you a brief story. When I first started working with my husband, Chris Harris, and his moving service, we were just servicing college students at the time. We were helping them move, from their dorms. And so we soon realized that not every customer was our ideal client. And that really was a huge mindset shift for us, because we realized that the clients who were actually not the right fit for our products and our services were also the ones who were haggling us on the phone, who were complaining, who were making up weird stories about the service not being rendered. And it really cost us a lot of money in the long run to do business with that type of client. So I want to make sure that you are very very crystal clear on who your ideal client is. And it's going to take some time, as you do business with more and more people, you're going to figure out who really gets the most benefit out of your products, programs, and services, but also who you enjoy working with the most. Okay, this is someone who not only pays you on time, but is also, a great doesn't drain your energy, for example. And this, of course, applies if you're a coach and you're giving some type of service, providing some type of service. But maybe you're a nonprofit, and so this is a donor who, isn't extremely micromanaging every single thing that you do with his or her money. This is someone who is really involved in the cause that you stand behind, or someone who loves your products. Maybe you're offering a product and literally tells all of their friends. So they're like a huge evangelist for you, and they're repeat customers. So you have to narrow down and figure out, okay, who is my ideal customer? The person who gets the most benefit from my products and my programs and my services, but then also someone that I really enjoy working with. And of course, you have to figure out, this is, kind of maybe even do a little avatar, a little description of who this person is, maybe what sex are they, if they're female or male, what their age range is, what type, if they live in a specific geolocation because you service a specific area, then of course they're going to be living there. If they have specific needs, specific challenges, specific concerns, specific beliefs, specific values, all of those are things that are very important. So I want to make sure you already know who your ideal client is. One of the things that is really helpful if you haven't worked with clients yet, for me at least, was really prospecting and then, asking questions to my ideal prospects. I came up with 10 people that I thought would be the perfect fit for my social media services. And then I surveyed them, the first year that I was in business. And I asked them tons of questions to see, what they were about, what social networks they were frequenting, how they were using social media. And that sort of leads into the second thing you need to be finding out is how they're using social media and where are they active, okay? Because not everyone is going to find their ideal client on every social platform. So to give you an example, Facebook and Twitter are the most popular platforms because they have a huge amount of active users, right? And so they also have a huge variety of audiences. So you're more likely to find your perfect ideal audience in one of those two, but that doesn't mean that those are going to be the perfect platforms for you. You can also find your ideal clients on Instagram, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, on Google+, and Periscope and Meerkat. There's so many platforms out there. So I want you to do your research and figure out exactly where your ideal clients are hanging out. The first way to do that is by asking your current clients or by asking your prospects where they hang out online, what social media platforms they frequent. The second one is actually putting your detective hat on and making sure that you are really hitting the mark when it comes to doing research. The first strategy to finding your ideal client, by researching is going to your competitors. Figure out where your competitors are at, right? That's easy. And you can figure this out very simply by doing searches on Google, finding your competitors' websites, and then finding the social media links on their website so you know where they're active. And then go into their platforms and see, okay, is my competitor actually, active on these platforms? Do they have a big following? Are they replying to customer service questions? Are they replying to comments? Does it seem like that audience or my audience, so because you service the same audience, are actually getting value out of this specific platform? And that'll give you an idea of where you should be really finding your next ideal client. So that's really important. Look for competitors, but then also number 3 is to look for aligned audiences. So you might be, let's say for example, a florist, right? And you have your flower shop and all that good stuff. You might want to be looking into partnering potentially, with someone who services your same audience. So for example, you might be partnering with a candy store, right? Because people order chocolates and flowers together or something like that. So you need to be looking at your ideal audience. Another example is, let's say that you are a realtor, right? You're a realtor. And so you might be able to partner down the line or at least look at what other interior designers are doing on social media because you have the same target audience in, some respect for sure. Another example is, let's say that you're a coach or a fitness trainer. Then you might be looking for nutritionists in your area. Or, if you service, globally, maybe you're looking for any type of nutritionist or a nutritionist that really is aligned with what you teach in terms of maybe you're teaching nutrition and fitness from a holistic standpoint. So you want to partner with other holistic nutritionists. So it's really important that you also look not just at competitors, but at other people who might have aligned audiences so that you guys can partner down the line, or just for your research purposes, look at where those people are active on social media and whether or not they're thriving. So those are some ways to find your ideal clients, but I want to get more specific and give you specific tips on how to find your ideal clients on specific social networks. So let's get down to business with Facebook. That's number 1, right? You can use Audience Insights, Facebook Audience Insights, and those links are going to be below. There's also going to be a link to a video that I already shot for you guys so you can see how to do this. But Facebook Audience Insights is going to tell you your current fans and followers what are other pages that they're interested in too. And so that way you can really understand, okay, this page, a specific Facebook page, seems to have a ton of my ideal clients on there. So I'm going to go and comment on that page as my page. I'm going to go interact with those fans of those, pages, because I want to make sure that they know that I exist and they come back to my page. So that is one really good strategy. The other one is just to use your search bar at the top of the newsfeed when you log into your personal profile and look for groups. This is huge because there's Facebook groups galore. I mean, there's everything you can think about, from, guys trying to find their ideal, spouse, to florists who are talking about how to network and make sure that they're helping each other with strategies, to teachers. There's everything you can think about in terms of groups. So go and find a few groups that you know your ideal clients are going to frequent and start engaging, providing value first. Very important, providing value, not spamming them. And eventually, they'll start getting that relationship with you. You can start connecting with them, and they're going to be asking you questions, reaching out, probably going back to your Facebook page to check out what you're about. And then they're going to eventually do business with you one way or the other. So that's a really good strategy. You need to get down in the trenches and figure this out. Very important. You don't necessarily have to do all of this yourself. You can outsource this to your virtual assistant or your regular assistant, and definitely, or another team member, and definitely, start building that research base, or that document that's going to tell you, look, this is where my ideal client is, this is where I need to be focusing on. Now let's move on to Twitter. Twitter is actually one of my favorites to do this because it has so many awesome search sort of filters that you can use. So this is really, really helpful. So when it comes to Twitter, I want you to go into the search functionality, specifically the advanced search feature. I'm going to link to that as well. And there's going to be a ton of filters. You can filter via keyword, via hashtag. And the cool thing for local businesses, this is something that I use for my husband all the time, is to actually use the geolocation. So there's a little geotag filter where you can say, I want to search for, let's say that you're real estate, you're in real estate and you're searching for conversations that are specific around selling a home or buying a home. You can enter those keywords in Twitter to see what people are saying about that topic, but then only search for people who are in a 10-mile radius or a 20-mile radius. So that's really helpful, especially if you're a local business. Now, if you're not a local business, then you have an even bigger pool. And so you can search via keywords and search via hashtags specifically, because there's a lot of people who might be using a specific hashtag for a specific event. For example, that your ideal audience went to that event, use that hashtag, track what they're saying, and start putting people who are using those keywords and those hashtags in a Twitter list. So that way you can engage with them down the road and start having conversations, maybe go over to their profiles and engage with their content. And that way you're building rapport and building those relationships. Number 3 is utilizing Pinterest. And on Pinterest, I want you to pay specific attention to what people are pinning from your personal website. And you can do that by going to pinterest.com/source/your URL, okay? So for me, it would be pinterest.com/source, the word source, /KimberlyAnnJimenez.com. And up will pop all of the different pins that people have pinned from my website. Now I can go specifically to their profiles to see, what type of person they are, why they engaged with my content, whether or not they're an ideal prospect, and I can follow them and then start commenting on their pins so I can get on their radar. So they already know me because obviously, they've shared my content. So it's a great idea to kind of follow up with them on Pinterest and build that relationship even further. So that's something that I definitely suggest you do. All right, so profile number 4 is Instagram. And on Instagram, you're going to be using hashtags, tracking hashtags and keywords the same as you would do with Twitter, except there's not as many search functionalities. So what I've seen work really well in terms of connecting with your ideal clients is using event hashtags. Go do your research, figure out which events your ideal clients are attending. And of course, this is a little bit more niche. Maybe if you're like a gardener, you might not necessarily find a specific hashtag. But one of the things that I would strongly suggest you do is look at trade shows. Trade shows usually have a hashtag, or people come up with a hashtag. And so if you are already going to a trade show, or you know that your ideal clients go to specific trade shows, you have to be using those hashtags, and you have to be tracking those hashtags in the search functionality so that you can find your ideal client. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of time. And again, you can outsource all of this. So finally, on LinkedIn, that's the final social network, you can do the same thing and use their search functionality, the advanced search functionality, use all of their filters to connect with your ideal audience. Now, it definitely helps if you already have a network, because then you can connect with people directly. You don't have to do the whole first, second connection, third connection thing. But keep it in mind, use that search functionality and get in front of your ideal clients. You have to be building those relationships if you want to make some money, okay? So those are my tips for you in terms of finding your ideal clients. I hope you found them helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you want even more bonus resources and all the goodies that come from being a VIP, like having all of these videos in this series in one place, plus bonus trainings, plus bonus Q&As, you have to sign up for the VIP list over at KimberlyAndHunos.com/countdown. And I will see you in the next video. Ready to take your social media marketing from zero to stellar? Zilch to Social is here, and inside the course, I'll teach you how to get more engagement, grow your following, and get more leads. Get started right now with my free social media class over at zilchtosocial.com.